Hey everybody, Mark here for the Highways and Hedges Monday School class. I hope you're doing well for our Wednesday series, Biblical Families. Biblical Families is what we're going to be talking about today in our series here over the next few weeks. For today, I want you to turn to Ephesians chapter 5, verses 30 through 33, and you can follow along here with me as I read. It reads, "For we are members of his body, of his flesh, and of his bones. For this cause shall a man leave his father and mother, and shall be joined unto his wife, and they two shall be one flesh. This is a great mystery, but I speak concerning Christ and the church. Nevertheless, let every one of you in particular so love his wife even as himself, and the wife see that she reverence her husband." This, of course, is the Apostle Paul here talking to the Ephesians, and of course he's speaking in terms of marriage, but yet he says this is in relationship to Christ and his church. And what I want you to see, marriage was created to glorify God by reflecting our special relationship with him. Now, Ephesians chapter 5 describes two aspects of our relationship with Christ that a Christian marriage should always be reflecting. Should always be reflecting. And I kind of want you to have these two things in your mind as we go through in your own marriage. Are these things evident? Are these things evident? Or if you're thinking about getting married, or soon, or you're younger and you are going to get married here at some point, are these things that are on top of your mind? Because as the Apostle Paul said here in verse 32, remember, he's talking about marriage, but in verse 32 says, "This is a great mystery, but I speak concerning Christ and the church." So, two things I want to cover here for today. Marriage symbolizes the unconditional love of Christ. It symbolizes that love. Christ, of course, loved us while we were yet sinners. That's Romans 5:8. And assures us, who shall separate us from the love of Christ? That's in Romans chapter 8, verse 35. So marriage symbolizes that unconditional love of Christ. Are you showing that unconditional love of Christ? He loved the unlovable. Sometimes in a marriage, we have to love the unlovable. Sometimes we are the unlovable. Make sure you always look towards Christ and his example. Christ gave himself for his church. The husband is to give himself, to deny himself in wholehearted devotion to his wife. The true husband who realizes all that this divine command involves dies at that marriage altar. All right. Christ is, of course, the head of the church. He's also the head of the family, the head of the home. Christ is the head of the home. The father then, or the husband in this case, is going to then represent that Christ likeness in the home, dying to self, always making sure he's taking care of his family, providing for his wife, and loving unconditionally. So that second thing I talked about is marriage symbolizes the surrender of the believer. The surrender of the believer. This, of course, is because you must surrender all things as a husband or as a wife to Christ. It involves surrender. It's giving away everything that you would want to promote self with, or to promote what you're doing, and give that all to Christ. And that surrender of the believer is going to allow Christ to come into the home and make that marriage strong. Make a strong marriage. Could it be that the high divorce rate and dysfunctional marriages in the American church are symptoms of a greater spiritual battle? The spiritual battle that we are losing? I absolutely think so. The less spiritual the families are becoming, the less likely Christ is the head, the less likely the husband will fall into his role and the wife will fall into their role. It is a natural progression, or in this case, regression, a natural step backwards. Last thing here, though countless marriages are less than ideal, all right? Matter of fact, most marriages are less than perfect. One thing does remain. God created the marriage to be the greatest living picture of his relationship with us. We as husbands should love our wives as Christ loved the church. The wife should reverence the husband just as we should be reverencing Christ. And in that relationship, the husband, wife being one flesh, always pointed up towards Christ. Godly marriages need Christ in the center. They need Christ on top. And that's really where I want to focus for today. The divorce rate is out of control. The lack of leadership in the home is out of control. The extreme self-will of, well, I'm in it for what I'm going to get, and I'm in it for what I'm going to get. Well, if the husband and wife are in it both only for themselves, not only is Christ not exalted, but we're not doing our individual roles. Make a difference. Make a difference in your home. Starting today, put Christ first. I hope that was a blessing there for you. Feel free to review that. Again, that was Ephesians 5, Ephesians 5, verses 30 through 33. Go ahead and review that. Next week, we're going to talk about the role of fathers. So we will hit that next week. I hope you guys have a wonderful week. Enjoy yourselves. Thank you so much for watching. If you like it, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, tell your friends, have them watching the channel. Let's move God across this country and across this world. Till we talk again.